The Gulf War, a conflict etched in memory. Images of blazing oil wells and Scud missiles fill our minds. But there was another, less visible enemy, an unrelenting force of nature, the desert sandstorm. In this unforgiving landscape, where temperatures soared and visibility vanished in an instant, a different kind of battle unfolded, a battle against the elements. This is the story of the tanks and the brave men who fought within them. They faced the fury of the desert and emerged victorious. This is a testament to their resilience. It's a tribute to the ingenuity of the engineers who designed their machines. The Gulf War was a harsh reminder. Nature can be as formidable an adversary as any army. The desert, with its scorching heat and blinding sandstorms, tested the limits of human endurance and the capabilities of military technology. This is the story of how those challenges were met and overcome. Imagine a wall of sand, hundreds of feet high, advancing relentlessly across the desert. It moves with a purpose, an unstoppable force that swallows everything in its path. The sheer magnitude of this natural phenomenon is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The sky turns a sickly yellow, then a deep, suffocating brown. The transformation is swift, as if the heavens themselves are being consumed by the storm. The once clear and blue sky is now a canvas of chaos and turmoil. The sun, a distant memory, disappears. Its light, once a guiding beacon, is now obscured by the thick veil of dust. The world is plunged into an eerie twilight where shadows dance and visibility is reduced to almost nothing. The air, thick with dust, makes every breath a struggle. Each inhalation feels like swallowing sand and the lungs burn with the effort. The storm doesn't just assault the senses, it invades the very essence of life. This is the reality of a desert sandstorm. It's not just a visual spectacle, but a full-body experience that tests the limits of human endurance. The relentless wind, the biting sand, and the oppressive heat combine to create a living nightmare. These storms are not mere inconveniences. They disrupt daily life, halt travel, and can even cause severe damage to infrastructure. The desert becomes a battleground where survival is the only goal. They are forces of nature capable of stripping paint from steel. The abrasive power of the sand can wear down even the toughest materials, leaving behind a landscape of battered and weathered objects. They can bury vehicles in minutes. What was once a clear path can quickly become an impassable barrier of sand, trapping anything caught in its wake. The desert reclaims its territory with a vengeance. Winds, exceeding 70 miles per hour, turn grains of sand into millions of tiny projectiles. These minuscule missiles can cause significant damage, eroding surfaces and making the environment even more hostile. Visibility drops to mere feet, making navigation impossible. The world shrinks to a small bubble of existence, where every step is fraught with uncertainty and danger. The desert is a harsh mistress. It demands respect and punishes those who underestimate its power. The environment is unforgiving, and only the strongest can hope to endure its trials. Its beauty masks a deadly indifference to human life. The serene dunes and picturesque landscapes hide a world of danger, where every moment is a battle for survival. Sandstorms, a constant threat, can strike with little warning. They emerge from the horizon like phantoms, giving little time to prepare or seek shelter. The unpredictability adds to their menace. Their ferocity can challenge even the most experienced desert traveler. Veterans of the desert know that no amount of preparation can fully shield them from the storm's wrath. The Gulf War took place in one of the most active sandstorm regions on Earth. Soldiers had to contend not only with the enemy, but also with the relentless onslaught of the desert. Soldiers faced these storms regularly. Each encounter was a reminder of the desert's power and the need for constant vigilance. They learned to respect their power. The storms were a formidable adversary, teaching lessons in humility and resilience. The desert, in its own way, was as much a combatant as any other. It was a force to be reckoned with, shaping the course of events and testing the mettle of those who dared to challenge it. Sandstorms wreak havoc on military operations. These storms, with their blinding fury, can strike without warning, turning a well-planned mission into chaos. Communication becomes difficult, if not impossible. Radios crackle with static, making it hard to relay crucial information. Orders get lost in the noise and coordination breaks down. Visual signals are swallowed by the swirling dust. Hand signals, flares, and other visual cues become useless in the thick haze. The battlefield, shrouded in an eerie silence, becomes a maze of shifting sand dunes. Each step is uncertain, each movement a struggle against the ever-changing terrain. Weapon systems, the teeth of modern warfare, are also vulnerable. Precision instruments and advanced technology falter in the face of nature's relentless assault. Sand, abrasive and insidious, clogs gun barrels, jams delicate machinery, and grinds down moving parts. Maintenance becomes a constant battle, with soldiers tirelessly cleaning and repairing their gear. Tanks, designed to be impervious to enemy fire, find themselves crippled by this invisible enemy. Their engines choke on the dust, and their treads struggle for traction in the loose sand. Imagine a tank crew, buttoned up tight inside their steel cocoon. The outside world is a blur of sand and wind, a hostile environment that seeps into every crevice. The roar of the wind, a constant drumbeat against the armor. It drowns out all other sounds, creating a sense of isolation and vulnerability. The air inside, heavy with the smell of diesel and fear, grows thick with dust. Breathing becomes difficult and visibility is reduced to a few feet. Every crack, every seam becomes a potential entry point for the relentless sand. It infiltrates the smallest openings, turning the interior into a gritty, inhospitable space. The desert is a master of psychological warfare. Its vast, empty expanse can make even the most seasoned soldiers feel small and insignificant. The isolation, the constant threat of sandstorms, the sheer scale of the emptiness, it all weighs on the mind. The mental toll can be as debilitating as the physical challenges. In this unforgiving environment, even the smallest task becomes a test of will. Every action requires extra effort. Every decision carries extra weight. The desert, with its silent, unyielding presence, is a formidable adversary. The Gulf War saw the clash of some of the most advanced military hardware ever deployed. It was a theater of war where technology and strategy were put to the ultimate test, and the harsh desert environment added an unpredictable element to the conflict. Among the formidable arsenal were the tanks, the armored behemoths designed to dominate the battlefield. These machines, with their thick armor and powerful cannons, were expected to be the kings of the desert. The U.S. fielded the M1 Abrams, a technological marvel of its time. Equipped with advanced targeting systems, composite armor, and a powerful gas turbine engine, it was considered nearly invincible. The Iraqis countered with a mix of Soviet-era T-72s and T-55s, tanks known for their ruggedness and simplicity. These tanks, though older, had proven their worth in various conflicts around the world. Despite their firepower and armor, these steel titans were not immune to the ravages of the desert. The fine, abrasive sand posed a significant challenge, infiltrating every crevice and component. Sand found its way into engines, grinding gears to a halt. Maintenance crews worked tirelessly to keep the tanks operational, often under the scorching sun and in the midst of sandstorms. Tracks, designed to churn through mud and snow, became bogged down in the fine, shifting sand. The desert terrain, with its soft dunes and hard-packed surfaces, was a formidable adversary. The desert, it seemed, had a way of humbling even the most powerful machines. The vast open landscape offered little cover, and the extreme temperatures tested both man and machine. The M1 Abrams, for all its technological prowess, relied on a complex gas turbine engine. This engine, while powerful and efficient, was particularly susceptible to sand ingestion, which could cause catastrophic failures. This engine, while powerful, was particularly susceptible to sand ingestion. The fine particles could clog filters and damage internal components, leading to frequent breakdowns. The T-72s and T-55s, with their simpler diesel engines, fared slightly better, but they too suffered from the abrasive effects of the sand. Their engines, though more robust, still required constant attention and maintenance. The tanks, symbols of military might, found themselves vulnerable in this new kind of battleground. The desert's relentless conditions tested the limits of their design and the endurance of their crews. The desert, it seemed, had leveled the playing field. The harsh environment neutralized some of the technological advantages, making strategy and adaptability crucial. The outcome of the conflict would depend not just on firepower and armor, but on the ability to adapt and overcome the challenges posed by this unforgiving environment. The true test was not just in the machines, but in the resilience and ingenuity of the soldiers who operated them.